Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Northeast Football Awards. Unfortunately, with all of the COVID restrictions and adjustments that have had to be made this year, I tried on two separate occasions to have a traditional awards night, and on both occasions, the school was shut down the night before we were supposed to have our awards. So I've been thinking about what I want to try to do as far as recognizing the players of the Northeast football program, and it was in consultation with the administration that we thought that these videos would be the best way to go about things. And so that's what we are going to be doing. Myself, I will be doing my video and presenting a group of players that I would traditionally have done up on stage in the auditorium. And all the assistant coaches also will be submitting a video and presenting information about their group of players. Some of the players, they were, designed by group of position, but some not in that manner. Some of them was more of a relationship-based situation with a particular coach and players. So that's how they were arranged, just so everyone knows. But the first thing I'd like to start off with saying is I'd like to thank all of you, the parents, for everything that you did this season. And this COVID world we're living in was not easy for anybody. It still continues to be an uneasy situation. But all of your dedication, your sacrifice, and all your adjustments that you made this year, I just sincerely want to thank you for everything that you do and continue to do. And I'd like to thank all the players. Your dedication, your sacrifice, your commitment. We had a very competitive season this year. I would say definitely, in the 4 years now that I've been head coach, the record this year, that's all a person were to think about and look at, they would not realize how competitive this team was this year. Three overtime games this year, very close. If you think about it that way, we were 3 points really from being, a 500 football team. And we had Harbor Creek this year, who was a very, very good football team. We had a 7-0 game with them at the half here at home. Two very good football games with Jonah McLean. Two schools that are much bigger than us. But that's just the way that it happened to work out this year with the regions and the redesigning because of COVID. But I'm so very, very proud of everyone and, the job that they did, the toughness that they showed, the dedication that they showed toward this sport, because it's different than any other game that's played. So, again, I want to thank you, the parents, thank you, the players. And now I'd like to go on and present some information on the players that I have tonight. First of all is John Pikevich. John is a 4-year letter winner. Someone who is very near to my heart. John is one of the most polite, appropriate, dedicated players and people that I've really ever been around. He has truly been raised right to have those principles and those ideals, and very reliable on the field, very, very tough. I cannot remember John missing a practice or a weight room session. Everything that you are going to get out of John is going to be 100%. He is going to be a very successful person in anything that he does because he possesses those traits. So, John, thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. The last 4 years of working with you have been nothing but a pleasure. Next is Owen Hammond. Owen, unfortunately, this year ran into some health problems. But the one thing about Owen, preseason this year, he was very dedicated in our video workouts that we did because of COVID. But even when he was not able to play, Owen was there. He was helping out. He was dedicated. We are very much looking forward to you, Owen, next year, getting stronger, getting back on track. And toward the end of this football season, you very much did that. And you showed that you are a varsity football player. So I look very much, forward to the future with you, buddy. So Thank you very much. Next is Caleb Schmidt. Caleb, 4-year player for us, very good offensive lineman, and he will be very, very missed. Caleb, thank you for your dedication, for everything you've done, and you turned out you were a very solid football player and one that we knew that we could count on. And again, you are going to be a very successful person because your personality is wonderful. Your work ethic is very good, and good luck to you in the future. You are going to be great. And next is Ian Seymour. We're in a situation this year that we had to put some younger kids on the field again. And we would not do that if we did not feel that they could handle it and they could be successful. Ian certainly showed that he can play varsity football. And that's why he was in on some special teams. He got some time on the offensive line. And he is a smart football player. He studies the game. And he is very coachable. And the future looks very bright for you, young man, if you are willing to work. And I know that you are. So the next 3 years are very exciting to know that I will have the chance and the coaches have the chance to work with you. And lastly, for my group is Mikhail Albany. Again, Mikhail found himself on the field this year, and that's just not a gift. We would not put anybody on the field that doesn't deserve it, number one, and that can't handle it, number two. And Mikhail can certainly do that. Again, played on some special teams this year, stepped in a little bit at the offensive line, stepped in on the defensive side of the ball, and certainly showed that he is a tough, aggressive football player. Your aggressiveness this year was one that probably surprised most coaches. It didn't surprise me because I saw you last year in junior high, and I knew, especially in the Fort LaBeouf game, how aggressive you can be. So, again, the future looks very bright. It's going to take a very good work ethic in this offseason. But I, again, look very forward to working with you over the next 3 years, someone that will certainly help us win championships. Okay, so those are the players that I wanted to present. Again, thank you. And I will be presenting a separate video, which I will then present all the special awards, that come along with a typical awards assembly. So I will be presenting those. But again, thank you. And again, this is the best way that I felt that we could get the information out there and, tell everybody about the players and all the special things that they do, and because it's absolutely well deserved. So thank you, and you will see other videos to come. So I hope that you watch all of them in their entirety and recognize all of the player student athletes. Thank you.
Hi guys, it's Coach Pyle. I'd like to welcome you all to our first virtual football banquet. It's kind of cool to be able to have the opportunity to do this. I'd like to begin by saying that as coaches, there's a couple of things that we already know before we take this job. One of those is that we're always going to be evaluated by people who are not qualified to evaluate us. And typically that means that people are always going to look just at our win-loss record, and they're going to evaluate us as successful or not. And I think that's really an unfortunate situation, because we could assume then that Bill Belichick is a terrible coach, because I believe they are 6-7 right now. What's really important to us, especially as high school coaches, is that we know we can't win everyone, although we'd like to. So what we try to do is make sure we provide a very successful, positive experience for everybody that's in the program. And regardless of what our win-loss record was this year, I think we really worked hard, and we achieved a situation where all of our kids felt like they left this year very, very successful and truly enjoyed a positive football experience. So let's move forward. And I'd like to introduce to you the players that I'm responsible for. And I can say that I'm really glad that I'm talking about all underclassmen. So we'll have all of these people back next year, and I really look forward to having the opportunity to coach them. The first one is a 9th grader, Cole Beamit. Cole is one of those guys that we're not quite sure where we're going to put him yet. He played everywhere for us, both on offense and on defense. He could end up in the secondary. He could end up as a linebacker. On offense, he could end up being a back. He could be a receiver. And in fact, if push comes to shove, we could probably use him on the line. I do know that football is really, really good for Cole. I know that it helps him keep his grades up. It helps his attendance in school tremendously. And we're hoping that when Cole comes back next year, we can put him in a spot, leave him there, and really develop him at one position, both on offense and defense. Next is McCoy Albany. McCoy, probably my most favorite thing about McCoy is the inner bickerings between he and his twin brother. I love to hear that familial bantering back and forth about who's better and all those kinds of things. But back to football, McCoy is a lot like Cole. We have a need because of numbers, that we have a void that we have to fill. And most of that is in the back end of our defense. So we're not sure if McCoy is going to work out in the secondary or if he's going to work out as a linebacker. On offense, he could be a receiver. He could be a running back. But I will say this, no matter where we ask him to go, he gives us a great effort and has a great attitude. And we really look forward to having McCoy back next year. The next individual is Mekhi Moss, one of the most fun-loving guys in 37 years that I've really, really had the opportunity to coach. You can kind of tell that he hasn't been around football a whole lot, but I know that wherever we put him, he seems to enjoy himself. I've never heard him complain, and to be honest with you, I've never really seen him have a bad day. I think he's going to work out as a linebacker for us, and he's probably going to work out as a running back for us next year. He has a lot of personal things in his life that he has to overcome, and he does a great job with that. And we're really, really lucky that we have the opportunity to have him with us and to watch him grow as a football player. The next individual is John Miles. We affectionately call him BBJ. BBJ, of course, stands for Big Bad John. I can remember that early in the year, and even towards the tail end of last year, we weren't even sure if we were going to get him. He's a big lad that we love having. He does a great job on defense as far as being what we call a two-gapper. He does a very nice job on offense as far as blocking and moving people out of the way. I know this. I know that when he got hurt, he was on his way to being one of the most improved football players that we had in our program. Really sad that he got hurt. To his credit, he stayed with it. And as far as next year, you can kind of pencil in already in two separate spots to be part of what we do on offense and defense. So we're really looking forward to having BBJ back next year. Tyler Whitman is an all-region running back. And in my opinion, just a sophomore, in my opinion, he's actually a better defender than he is an all-region running back. Tyler is he's a football player. He's just one of those guys that you just don't notice him. But at the end of the game, at the end of practice, he's all grass stained and dirty, and there's sod hanging from his face mask, and socks are all down. And you know that for the entire time that he's on that field, whether it's special teams, offense, defense, it doesn't matter. He gave all he had to give. He's a fun kid to have at practice. I really, really enjoy his personality. And I know that next year, when you start to plan a defense, you always start to plan from the middle backwards and then out. I think that he's going to be a very, very central part of what we want to do next year. The last individual that I've been asked to introduce is Caleb Rizzo. And what a pleasure to talk about Caleb Rizzo. I kind of got to know him this year in school. I haven't had him in the past in the middle school, so it was really cool to get a chance to work with him at the high school this year. He was struggling earlier in the year as far as whether or not he wanted to continue in academics or whether or not he wanted to be part of the VOTEC. And I think once he got all of that cleared up and his day was a lot less stressful, he really turned into one heck of a football player. He, in fact, is a first-team all-region defensive lineman. He's really, really quick. He really listens well. He does exactly what we ask him to do, which is why he is successful. And I know that next year we're going to have to use him on offense, which I'm sure he's looking forward to. Again, as far as planning defensively, which is kind of my main role, it's really, really nice to have him in there, knowing that he's a first-team all-region lineman, and we can kind of move forward. We know that he's going to be there for us, and he gives us an excellent opportunity to be successful next year. I also want to take this last closing amount of time to say how proud I am of these kids for surviving this pandemic. Parents were wonderful. You guys were really, really supportive. And in fact, I kind of think that when we come back, if we get through all of this and we get through the winter and the spring, we're just going to be a much better group of people, much tougher, much more resilient. And I can't thank these kids, these parents, Coach Humes, and the rest of this coaching staff for giving me the opportunity to spend 2 hours every single day of my life with you guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations to everyone. We're all in this together, like they say, guys. Just follow the rules, and we'll be a lot better off as we head down the road. Take care, everyone.
Hello, Picker Nation. Coach Fuller here. I've been given the honor to announce some varsity awards for some great Picker players and fine young men. It's unfortunate that we can't do this in person. However, fortunately, we were able to have a season this year. I want to personally thank Coach Humes for hiring me into the Picker family and bringing me onto his staff as his wide receiver and defensive back coach. I want to thank Coach Pyle and Coach Whitney for welcoming me with open arms and allowing me to coach for them and with them. And I learned a lot from you guys this year. I want to thank the rest of the coaches for the enjoyable time I had this year coaching with you, and for also welcoming me onto the staff and into the Picker family. I want to thank all of the parents for entrusting me with your players' well-being and entrusting that I would be a good role model for them and teach and be a good mentor. I want to thank the players, especially. I really thank you all for allowing me to coach and mentor you, to get to know all of you, and to enjoy, be there along your football experience and enjoying that football experience with all of you. I really enjoyed this year and all the highs and lows we had. Before I get to announcing who all of the award winners are, I thought I would, instead of just calling their name and announcing the varsity award they got, I wanted to talk a little bit about each of the players. I picked 3 characteristics that I think really demonstrate their play this year and how they developed as a football player and what they did as a member of this team. And then I picked a play that I think encompasses and demonstrates those characteristics that hopefully you'll be able to see over this video chat. So without further ado, I'd like to announce Cameron King. Come on down. Cameron, you have earned your varsity letter bar. Congratulations. Well deserved. What can I say about Cameron? Well, the first thing is I would characterize him as this team's Swiss Army knife, or as some people call utility man. We asked Cameron to play a lot of positions this year. He played both outside receivers at the A and the B. He played inside at the 3 and the 4. He played backup quarterback. He started off as safety, played corner, and then was asked to play the monster back position or outside linebacker. And not only did he learn all these positions, but at some point he played most of them. Did it without hesitation, always stepped up and did what we needed when we needed it, which leads me to his next characteristic, which is high football IQ. I really think Cameron has a very high football IQ, and he demonstrated that in how quickly he was able to learn all of these positions and be able to play them effectively. I said it numerous times. I think Cameron may have been the smartest football player on this team, and I kind of stand by that. I know a lot of people gave me grief for that, but Cameron, I really, really saw the high football IQ that you demonstrated that a lot of players at the high school level don't show. That leads me to my last one, opportunistic. Cameron was very opportunistic this year in the fact that playing all of these positions, every time we needed someone to step in or to take over one of these because of our lack of depth, Cameron stepped right up and was opportunistic in getting that playing time. He always wanted to figure out how he could get on that field and get as much playing time and start as much as possible. So he was very opportunistic in stepping into all of these positions at some point and doing whatever it took to get himself on that field. He was also opportunistic on the field. There was a lot of times he was in the right position at the right time and made some great plays for us. Just to demonstrate one, the game against Franklin, right? How many of you remember? It was a deep vertical route to Seth. The safety jumped up and knocked the ball out, right around the 5-yard line. The ball went flying in the air. And because Cameron was playing the 3 at the time, ran a good route, got himself into open space using his high football IQ. And then not only that, he paid attention to what was going on with the play and never gave up on it. He found himself with the ball coming towards him, where he jumped up and made a great catch, a great run, got us a first down and put us in position to score. This is just one play that really demonstrates what Cameron brought to the team this year. Thank you, Cameron. The next player I'd like to introduce is Seth Fuller. Seth, come on down. Congratulations on earning your varsity letter bar. So what do I say about Seth? The first thing I would say is playmaker. I think we can all agree every time he had that ball in his hand, it was expected he was going to make some big play, and he usually delivered on that. A lot of exciting moments this year, a lot of big plays he made for us. And because of that, a lot of kids would get a big head. A lot of kids would take to social media bragging about it. A lot of kids would walk around with a chip on their shoulder and think they didn't have to work anymore. Which brings me to the next characteristic, which is humble. Seth is an extremely, extremely humble young man. No matter how successful he was, he wanted the ball back. He was focused on the game, not what he was doing. He worked hard. It didn't matter, he had 5 touchdowns or not. He came back that next practice and wanted to keep playing, keep learning his craft, keep being coached, and keep working hard. And he always kept himself humble about it, even to this day. Which brings me to the last part, hardworking. I definitely describe Seth as hardworking. He put in all the work in the off season that made him successful during the season, that helped him to be a great asset to the Picker team. And, just the work he put in during practice to demonstrating himself as a leader and as a role model for the younger players, and what he did in the off season, and even during the season, the effort he put in the weight room. So I would say Seth's good playmaker, humble, and hardworking. And this is just one play that kind of demonstrates all of that. I don't know if you can see that. This is the game against Corey with the first kick return that he returned for a touchdown. I think it was 100 yards. That just demonstrates everything, because that shows him as a playmaker, but he didn't care. He came back the next play and wanted to go out on defense and get the ball back and keep making plays for his team. He was humble even after he scored this. Didn't really celebrate a heck of a lot, like you would expect. And he continued to work hard throughout the game, and ended up with scoring 5 touchdowns that game. And as a coach, that's kind of one of those things that you're glad you're there to witness and be part of. As a player, I was really glad that the Pickers could enjoy in that, and the players could be out there to see their hard work pay off as well. And as a fan, you're just glad to be there to witness it, whether you were there in person or watching it on TV. It's just one of those games you were glad, and efforts you were glad to witness. Great season, Seth. Congratulations. Luke Riedel, come on down. Luke has earned his varsity letter bar. Luke may have been one of my favorite players to coach this year. What I would say about Luke is he's extremely coachable. From practice 1 this summer, he demonstrated that. I immediately noticed how coachable he was. He did everything you asked of him, how you asked him to do it, as hard as he could. And if he didn't get it right the first time, he'd show that passion, get upset about it, come back the next play and want to do it again and do it again till he had it right. And he asked all the right questions. He wasn't afraid to ask what he didn't know. And he really showed that he was extremely coachable, probably one of the most coachable kids I've ever coached. But that led to his focus. I also know he had laser focusedness. From the minute we started practice to the minute it was over, he was focused. He was focused on everything, every drill, everything he was asked to do, everything he was trying to be taught. And he was the same way in a game. He had very intense focus in a game as well. And his resiliency. I'm not sure there was anybody more resilient on this team than Luke was. And what I mean by that is, good play, bad play, it didn't matter. He'd come right back, bounce right back up, have a short memory, and go right back to work, trying even harder. Miss a tackle, he'd make the next one. Mess up on a play, he'd come right back and make the next one, do it right. But also, he suffered a pretty significant injury, and knew we needed to have him back. And he worked hard to get back and be able to play for us, especially in some of those games where we were really short some monster linebackers. And he showed that real resiliency to, bounce back from a significant injury and be ready to play. So I would definitely say with Luke, coachable, focused, and resilient. This play right here really shows the characteristics of Luke. This was the game against Fairview. And if you look in the red circle right there, I think you all can see it. That's Luke. And it shows how coachable he is. Luke was in the position he was supposed to be in. He was in the area he was supposed to be for containment, playing the monster. And because of that, he was focused in on what was developing with the play. And because of that focus and being coachable enough to be in the right position, he was able to step in and not only make the tackle in the backfield, but he caused a fumble, which he also recovered. And that just really shows the attributes of Luke. It also shows his resiliency because this was a game in which he came back from an injury and was his first game back. And it shows the resiliency he had to continue on with the season. Thank you, Luke. Really enjoyed coaching you this year. The next player I'd like to announce is BP. BP's earning his varsity letter bar. BP, I'm sure you think I'm going to say all kinds of crazy things, but honestly, no. The first thing I would characterize you by is your potential. You have so much potential as a football player. It's crazy. And I was really excited to be a part of that and to help bring out that potential this year. I really think that if you would have stayed healthy, your potential would have really shown throughout the season, and you would have definitely made all district honors at DB and or wide receiver. You have so much potential out there that I think you can keep growing as a football player, and I hope to hopefully see you playing at the next level if you get the opportunity. Hardworking. I would definitely say BP is one of the hardest workers on the team. His off-season workout routine showed that. He put in all the work in the off-season. He put in all the work in the camp. He was a great role model and demonstrated how hard you have to work in practice. And he was very hardworking in learning his positions this year and learning his craft and wanting to become the best at it. I saw a lot of hard work out of this young man in trying to develop his potential. And the last thing I would say is athletic. He's extremely athletic. It doesn't matter what sport you put BP in. I think he would be extremely successful. And that really showed as this was only his second year of football. And a lot of times he showed, I think because of that athleticism and how hard he worked, he showed the presence of someone who'd been playing 4 or 5 years of football. BP, I really enjoyed coaching you this year, and you really showed a lot of potential, extremely hardworking and very athletic. And I think this play I chose really demonstrates this. This is that play against Harbor Creek, home game. We were tied at 7 going into the half, but we were only tied at 7 going into the half we were down 7-0 at half, and we were only down 7-0 at half because of BP's play. If you really look back here, this was the play at the end of the half. BP made a key interception, ran across the field to make a key interception against an all-region wide receiver and all-region quarterback, and saved them from scoring a touchdown, which would have gave them a huge momentum boost. If you really watch the play develop, he came from the other side of the field, sprinted across, put himself in a position like he was coached to do, and his athleticism allowed him to intercept that football. That's just one play of demonstration of BP, and congratulations, BP, on a great season. Unfortunately, the injury happened, but I know you'll bounce back and do great things. Jesse Phelps, come on down. Jesse's earning his varsity letter bar. What can I say about Jesse? Well, I think this first characteristic is probably going to throw a lot of people for a loop, but maturity. I really saw Jesse mature this year as a football player and as a young man. His progression over the season and what he developed into, was night and day from where we started in camp. I really saw him mature, and I saw him mature as a football player. and as a young man. And I don't think anybody can argue with that. And I'll show why in the clip I chose for him. Selfless. Jesse was, again, one of those players that was very selfless and learning numerous positions and stepping up where we needed him on the team. Much like Cameron King, we asked him to play a lot of different positions and learn a lot of different positions and learn them very quickly. And he stepped up and played all of them, including running back. Who would have thought Jesse Phelps would be playing running back, right? Well, he did, and he did very well at it. And then entertaining. If there's anything you can say about Jesse, it's always entertaining. Any chance you're around him, it's always going to be entertaining. You never know what the conversation is going to be like, but it always ends with a smile on your face and Jesse making a lighthearted of situations, no matter what they are. And I really thank you for that, because at times I think we needed that, and you definitely kept us entertained this year. Here's the play I want to show that really shows that maturity and selflessness. This was against Fairview at the end of the game. We were running out of running backs. We needed someone who could step in there and block for our quarterback. And if you see right here in the circle, there's Jesse, right? Big old Jesse playing quarterback, protecting Jackson and doing what we needed. And at a time when we needed it most, at a position he's not very familiar with. But being selfless as he was, he stepped up and played that. He actually earned Player of the Week honors for this game because he stepped into a couple other positions we needed that game. Great job this season, Jesse. It truly was a pleasure coaching you. And last but not least, Casey Birch. Come on down. Casey's earning his varsity letter bar. What would I say about Casey? Well, the first thing I would say is essential. I think we all learned how essential Casey was to this football team. As our kicker, as our punter, as our monster, and as our four. Casey, when we lost him, we took a huge hit on this football team. Our kicking game wasn't really the same. We had some players and some young players really step up to play for us in his absence. And, we really lost a great part of our receiving game and our passing game. And we definitely took a hit on defense. We really learned how essential Casey is to the team. And unassuming. I would characterize Casey as unassuming. Casey, you're one of the most quiet players out on that field. You come in to handle your business and get through your work, do your job, and you're not flashy about it. But man, I didn't realize how fast you are. I didn't realize how athletic you are, and I didn't realize, you're so unassuming as a football player. And it was really enjoyable getting to watch you play, getting to know you, and getting to learn how unassuming you really are as a football player. You are a gifted young man, and I look forward to coaching you next year and seeing how you develop as a senior. And then dedicated. I would definitely say Casey was very dedicated. Even with the injuries, he wanted to go out there and kick with his arm in a sling, and he was serious about it. He wanted to come out with 2 significant injuries and try to play linebacker, and he was serious about it. He played hurt, as much as he could because he was dedicated to his team and he was dedicated to playing football. And I thank you for that. That really showed a lot of heart and a lot of passion. And I was glad to be a witness to that and to your dedication. And I think this play kind of sums up a lot of Casey's play. So this is overtime against the game against Corey. The game on the line in overtime. Coach decides to kick a field goal because he has so much trust in Casey as a kicker and as a football player. And, Casey went out there and kicked the field goal. And, we should have won that game. I'll leave it at that. But Casey kicks the field goal and puts the team on his back to put us in a position to win that game. It was an honor to coach you, Casey. And here's what I'm going to tell you. It's time to get to work in the offseason. This team is yours next year. I look forward to seeing you come out and lead it. To all of the players I got the opportunity to announce, I wish you all the best of luck, all the seniors. I know you'll go on to do great things for our community and in society and be very productive as young men. Those of you going on to play football at the next level, I look forward to keeping up with you and seeing how you do. And I know you'll be shining stars. And I want to say to all of the players out there, get to work in the gym if you're not playing another sport, and be ready to come out next year, bring that picker pride, and be ready to work. I want to thank all the parents and players and coaches for giving me the time to do this. I know it was a little lengthy, but I think the players deserved it. And I really enjoyed being part of this Picker family. Front, back, go.
Hey guys, Coach Stritzinger here. Hope you guys are having a great holiday season and you guys are staying safe. I got a few of some offensive linemen and defensive linemen to talk about for you. First player I'd like to talk about is Will Parton. Will Parton is a very hard working football player, okay? And I say football player because he loves the game, and you can just tell when you see him out there having fun playing, he is a football player. All right. He played some pretty important positions for us on the defensive side of the ball. He was our linebacker, and he led the team with 53 tackles. And my favorite position, one of my favorite positions, center, that interior offensive line, very critical to the successful football team. He played center for us, and he played very well. And we could sit here and talk about how he's able to block and how hard he works in every single play and defeating his opponent and getting the job done. But really what I like to talk about is how well he communicated defensively and offensively, and that really, sets the bar high for a lot of these younger guys watching and seeing him out there communicating. But like I said, it helps us, get the ground rolling. Other linemen are communicating back to each other. Everyone's on the same page. And, without Will and they're doing that, we might be in trouble. So I really commend Will for that aspect of his game. Will has been a good football player for us for the past 4 years, and he's earning a varsity bar. So I congratulate him and hope him success in the future for his following endeavors. The next player I would like to talk about is Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo is like our Swiss Army knife. He's so selfless. He would play every single position if we asked him to. He would have no problems doing so. Another extremely hardworking lineman. We have a lot of them on this team. I'm very excited to get to work with him every single day this season. But Anthony Rizzo, he just works very hard, and he's always willing to be coached and gets better. And he understands that, you're only going to get better or worse day to day. So, when it's time to get to practice, depending on, if you had a long day at school, it's time to put that behind you, clock in and really iron down and get better and sharpen your skills. So, I think Anthony Rizzo is a very good example of that for our younger guys. I really look forward to getting him back next year because he's one of my favorite players to watch out there. He probably had my favorite play of the season this year. He had an interception return for a touchdown. It was a sensational play. I'm very happy for him that he was able to make that play because he was making it in practice. And, he was always having that eye open for those screens. And, it was a very fun day to watch him go down and make such a good play. I'm very happy for him. And like I said, can't wait to have him back next year. I would also like to congratulate Anthony on earning another varsity bar. So congrats, Anthony. Can't wait to see you in the weight room. The next athlete I would like to talk about is Hunter Galloway. He is a offensive lineman for us again. He played guard this season a lot for us, especially on the junior varsity side. He was always one of those players down there working very hard, coming in there early on a Saturday and putting in some grinding hours. I always love to see it. He also played some defensive end for us. The thing I liked about Hunter the most is he's always willing to be coached, and he always listens to what a coach is telling him to do. With an attitude like that, he can see himself making a lot of improvements, and us as a whole entire coaching staff is really excited to see what he can do down in the weight room this offseason. Because like I said, we know he's going to be a very important part to our team next season. And with his contributions this season, he's actually earned himself a varsity letter. So congratulations, Hunter. And can't wait to see you next year, bud. The next athlete I would like to talk about is Ethan Schmidt. This is the first year I coached Ethan, and I'm very happy he came out for the football team. He has shown a lot of potential at the offensive line position. He played offensive tackle for us for JV and defensive tackle. Excuse me. I really like him at that defensive tackle position because, as you can see, he is a big, strong man, not easy to move, and can disrupt a lot of game plans up in that middle. So I'm just really looking forward to see what he can do in the offseason to improve, because throughout the course of the season, he really improved as the week got by, and the more he learned his plays and played and was able to play a little bit faster, it's really when we started seeing like, man, this kid, he can be a pretty good football player for us. So with that being said, we're excited to see what he's going to do in the weight room this offseason, work really hard because when he does that, this fall coming up, we can see uh, big Ethan Schmidt on the field for us. He's someone that was always trying to do the best that he can at everything, and he just works really hard. So, with that being said, he did earn a JV letter this year. So, congratulations, Ethan, and I can't wait to see you back there next year, bud. My next athlete is Stephen Herring. Stephen Herring has played a lot of football for us for the past 4 years. This season, primarily, he played guard and tackle for us on the offensive side of the ball, and defensively, he played defensive end for us. Where I like him at defensive end, he's a very good run stopper. I think that's an area he really excels at and takes pride in. It was really fun to see him get in there this season. I know we didn't have him for the first month or so, but it was really a boost for us when we did get him back and we were able to just plug him right in there, and he came in and did a great job for us. Offensively, I know he likes to get his nose down the run game and get blocking in the trenches for his backs, and it's something he takes pride in, just like I did. So I really enjoy watching Stephen Herring play on the offensive line. Due to his great success past 4 years, he'll be earning another varsity bar for us. And I wish him the greatest success here moving forward after his senior year of high school, where he's going off to be in the military. Good luck, Stephen. I hope everything works out for you, bud. And I'm always here if you need to contact me for anything. The last athlete I'd like to talk about with you tonight is Fenton Shunk. Fenton was a freshman we had this year. Unfortunately, he had an injury that sidelined him for a bit. But whether he was dressed or not, you would always hear that voice on the sideline Friday night cheering on for his teammates. Man, that kid loves football so much. When he was in there practicing, he was never shy to jump in there and learn and get in there on scout team, which as a freshman, that's a great thing to see. That doesn't always translate over up into the high school level. So seeing that out of Fenton was very promising, and I'm excited to see him next year. With his efforts this year, Fenton was able to earn a JV letter. So congratulations, Fenton. Can't wait to see you back out there next year, buddy. On a final note, I'd just like to thank all the parents for just staying patient through this whole process this year. I know it wasn't an easy year on anybody by any means, but the fact that we were still able to go out there and play 9 games, I'm really proud of how our guys were able to move through all the distractions and still get out there every week and be able to play this beautiful game. So I'm really proud of the guys for doing that, and you parents, they were only able to do it because of you guys. So thank you guys so much. Looking forward to seeing everybody next year.
Hey guys, Coach Rizzo here. I just wanted to take some time to talk about some of my favorite players and studs from the football season. Do want to start off by saying that I know it's unfortunate that we can't get together as a team and as a family to talk about and celebrate the season, but I think between Coach Humes and the IT guys, they came up with a pretty good idea, so I'm thankful for that. I'd also like to thank everybody for allowing me to be a coach again, from the coaches, from the seniors, all the way down to the freshmen. I had a great season with you guys. I had so much fun. I love being out there with you guys, and I just want to thank you for a great season. So, with all that being said, I'm going to start off with my boy Amari. Amari joined the team a little late, unfortunately for us this season, but you could tell he made an immediate impact for us. As soon as he steps on the field, he brings a style of play that is hard to find in cornerbacks and on the high school level. He plays with aggressiveness. He plays with this enthusiasm. He's very physical, very fast. When you mix all that together, that usually makes a pretty good football player. And we appreciate everything he did for the team. He was a lot of fun to have in the secondary, specifically to coach. I can think of a million different times where we'd be at practice and we were doing team defense, and we'd be waiting for the next rep. And he'd be standing over there on the side, playing the cornerback position, waiting, and he'd just be dancing and bobbing and moving around. He brought a little bit of a swagger to our defense that I think we've lacked in the past. So I appreciate that. he brings a juice that I always talk about. And I think we need to kind of build on that for next season. And I hope to see him come out next season and get ready to roll with us because he's a good one to have on your side. So thank you, Amari. Next, I'm going to talk about my boy Blake Hill. I'm going to start off right now by saying Blake Hill is, if not one of the strongest guys pound for pound on the team and toughest. He was a kid who on Saturdays, I'm not exaggerating, I'm pretty sure played every single snap. He played offense, he played defense, he played special teams for us. Not only did he play, he wasn't just filling a position, he made a difference in the games. He's someone that we are very lucky to have on this team. We're excited about. I know some people want to sit here and call him short, but he is svelte and he is stocky and he's going to continue to grow. And I know he wrestles during the winter. I'm not sure about the spring sports, but I'm excited to get him in the weight room and just help him continue to grow and develop into a football player that we're gonna be excited about for years to come. So, Blake, good luck in wrestling, and I can't wait to get you back on the football field, buddy. Thank you. All right, next on my list is my boy Caden McCray. I have nothing but positive things to say about Caden McCray. I think early in the season, you could sense he was a little bit hesitant, maybe a little timid, trying to find his way on the football field, getting comfortable with what we were asking him to do. But you could see it clear as day throughout the season. Towards the end of the year, he got much more comfortable, and he let his natural athletic ability take over, and he made some plays for us. He was another kid that played a lot on Saturdays for us, different positions too. Whatever we needed, he was willing to do it. And he was a kid who, listen, if we got in a pinch on Friday nights, varsity, he could step in and he made some plays for us. And I'm pretty sure he had a pretty long reception for us on Friday night. So we love players like that, willing to step in and jump in and make a difference for us. He's a kid that you can tell that as he continues to grow and mature and develop, he's going to be a pretty big kid and he's going to be a big part of this team. So we're excited to have him for a couple more years. We're excited to get him in the weight room, help develop him a little bit, and we're gonna have fun. So thank you, Caden, for the season, and we're gonna see you, buddy. Next is my boy Travis. So Travis is someone who I call all season our emotional leader. He just wants to win so bad. He wants to win and he wants to be great. And if he was not the one actually out there making plays, he was the one you could hear on the sideline cheering for the guys making plays for us. He has a lot of passion and a lot of energy that he wants to put out onto the field for his team, and we appreciate that. On Saturdays, he was so fun to coach, so fun to watch because he was the kid running around hitting it. If you wore a different color than him, he was coming to hit you, and you can never have too many people like that on your football team. I'm pretty sure varsity-wise, he's one of our leading sack getters. So he made the most of his opportunities. I know towards the end of the season, he was battling injuries, which kind of bummed him out a little bit because I know he was hoping to make the senior year a special one. And I still hope he thinks and considers this to be a special season because we got a season and he made some plays for us. And he definitely stuck out to me in my head all season. He was proud to be a part of this football team, and we were proud to have him. And I hope he takes that attitude, that passion, and he goes further in life with it, and he does something with it because he's got a lot to offer. And we just want to thank Travis for everything he did this season. All right, last but not least for me, I'm going to talk about my boy C Breezy. He was a kid who, again, also was a little timid early in the season, a little shy. He wasn't really sure where he fit in terms of was he a running back, was he a receiver? But you could see throughout the season he felt more comfortable. He felt more comfortable with his pads on and on the football field. And it got to the point where at the end of the season, when he was running scout team for us, whether it be scout team cornerback or scout team receiver, if he was going to throw a block or take on a blocker, the play ended with him talking some trash, him talking some smack, saying, "Yeah, I'm right here," letting the older guys know, "I'm right here, man. I ain't going anywhere." And that kind of attitude, we love it and we need it on the team. So we're very thankful for it. I hope he continues to bring it like that. He's a kid that you can tell is going to grow up in terms of he's going to get taller and he's going to put some weight on. And if you put that in addition to his already sweet feet, I mean, we got an athlete here, and we're excited for him. So I hope to see him this offseason in the weight room, and we can get back in there. And I hope to see him out there this summer in the pads, and we're gonna get after it. So thank you, Sea Breezy, for the season, and we're gonna see you, buddy. All right, so that wraps it up for my list of players to talk about. If I did not talk about you, it's probably because I didn't like you. Just kidding. But in all seriousness, I just want to thank all the players on such a fun season. I feel like we made the best of what we were given, and that's all I could really ask for. So if you're not coming back, good luck in everything you do in the future. And if you are coming back, let's get to work. Go Pickers. See you guys.
Hello, everybody. I want to start today by thanking the players and the parents for doing everything they did to allow us to have a football season and have a chance to play this year. We faced a lot of adversity, and we had many situations that were completely out of our control. I believe that there were many valuable and lifelong lessons that we learned this year at the football field. Your boys learned to improvise, they learned to adapt, they learned to overcome, they learned to avoid complaining when they couldn't control the way things were going. I want to echo the statements of some of the other coaches that our win-loss record alone is not a good indication of the success that this season was. Of course, we wanted to win more, and of course, that's always our goal. But we did things for life, and we tried to help you as parents build your boys for life and to be men of character and honor. I also want to take a time to thank the administration for letting us to play. They battled a pervasive culture of fear that seems to be gripping our country. Instead, they stood for reason, they stood for logic, and they allowed us to do something that many people thought were impossible. So thank you for fighting for the kids and putting them first. Tonight, I want to talk about 6 young men, and I believe all these young men are incredible people and have the ability to really grow and do incredible things. Well, I'll start with Jackson Humes. Jackson started the year like any other freshman. He was scared. He was unsure. Very quiet. Didn't want to come in. Didn't want to ruffle any feathers. Didn't want to really take ownership of everything. But throughout the year, Jackson gained in his confidence and gained in his ability to understand and to know the system. One of my favorite moments for Jackson this year was not anything on the football field, not his first touchdown pass, not his first completion, none of those things. It was really the time that I started to see him in practice take ownership of the routes, take ownership of his ability to command the offense, hold other people accountable to a standard of excellence, and to move the team forward uh, on a daily basis. Jackson finished the year with 33 completions on 65 attempts. He threw for 545 yards and 6 touchdowns. He only had one interception as a true freshman. So we are looking forward to Jackson competing, getting stronger, getting bigger, and trying to take that starting position for himself next year. Sticking with the freshman class, let's talk about Alex Green. Just like our year in 2020, Alex Green's season was full of ups and downs. Alex, is a genetically gifted human being in a way that very few people are. He's got good size, natural strength, good quick feet, good speed for his size. And as such, he found himself immediately competing at the varsity level for playing time. I think it's fair to say that Alex definitely belongs at that varsity level, but I also think it's fair to say that he wasn't so sure he belonged when he started the season. He started at nose tackle in our first game, and he encountered some seniors and some guys who were much bigger and stronger than him just by time, the age. They spent more time in the weight room because they were 4 years older than him. And I think it took time for Alex to adjust from being the biggest, baddest dude on the eighth grade football team to now being a freshman playing against seniors. But as the season went on and Alex got through that and he grew and he pushed himself forward and didn't quit, Alex was able to see that he did belong in that field and he was able to start physically dominating people again. And I remember fondly a couple blocks in the Fairview game at the end of the year and also the Franklin game and getting into Corey. I mean, Alex had some real devastating blocks to finish the season out. He finished the year with 5 tackles on defense, which was great for an interior defensive lineman. And we are just thrilled to see Alex, and we hope that he will answer the call next year, be a leader on our team from start to finish, be a leader in the weight room, and be a leader on the field. Let's move on talking about Mitchell Havens. I was really impressed with Mitchell this year and how he had improved mentally. Last season there were times where Mitchell was probably more mentally interested being somewhere else. He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't focused on the football field. And that was not the case at all this year. Mitchell really came out and was dedicated to practice, enthusiastic in practice. He was trying to really understand what was going on. He was getting the drills right. He was getting the concepts right. He was getting all those things right. And then unfortunately, Mitchell got hurt. And I was bummed. I know that he was bummed. It's never good to lose any player, but when you lose a kid who is enthusiastic about practice, when you lose a kid who wants to be there, it really does hurt the team at a deeper level. So I'm encouraged by Mitchell's growth, and I really look forward to working with him again next year. Moving on, I want to talk about Matt Hubbard. Matt played an expanded role on our team this year. Matt worked his way into the mix on both offense and defense. He was a primary substitute for us and a starter at times. Matt showed an increased understanding in the system. He knew the fundamentals of the game or the rules of the game. He started to really grasp those things. He started to learn how to read and react to what the opponent was doing to him on the field in real time. He did make a few notable plays because of that. He had a pass breakup. He had 11 tackles on defense, which again is great for a cornerback. We don't want cornerbacks making a lot of tackles. And Matt really has the necessary tools to be an effective player. We are hopeful that Matt will answer the bell and or the call, and that he too will build his body up to handle the rigors of a varsity season. I think he found that last year that it's not to play varsity, your body needs to be in better shape so you could avoid those little injuries, those nagging injuries that kept up with him all year. My next player is Nick Mohar, and I just want to say Nick is an absolute joy to coach. He's an even better guy to know. Nick is 100% in. Nick is everything that we as a coaching staff want to see in a player. He's present, he's hardworking, and he holds himself to a high standard. And more importantly, he tries to keep his teammates to that high standard. Nick is often quiet in his approach, and my fear is that sometimes that allows his impact or his example to be overlooked by other players. But I want everyone to just kind of take a minute to really think about what he represented as a player. Nick was stats and publicity were always second to hard work and to dedication and to being in the drill and being available. And Nick was always there, willing to give everything that he had. Nick, please know that as coaches, we truly appreciate all that you did for us. We appreciate you as a human being, and we appreciate you as a football player. My final player to talk about today is Kian Skrekla. And I wish as I was speaking on this video that I could show you a picture of his ninth grade year to his 12th grade year and allow you to see the physical difference in Kian throughout that time. I think that you would understand by looking at those two pictures what we mean as coaches when we say you have to get into the weight room. I think that you would see what we as coaches say, that everybody has the ability to develop and everybody has the ability to change their body into a positive, athletic body. And we can do those things, but it takes hard work. It takes sacrifice. You have to stop playing video games to be able to lift. You have to stop being able to do these other things to be able to lift. And Kian really represented that. Kian took what was in his control, athletic ability not in his control, the circumstances of the world not in his control. But what Kian could control was effort and lifting and time and choice. And those are the things that Kian dominated. As a result, it really paid off for Kian on the football field. Just thinking about this, Kian finished his senior year with 442 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, and 2 interceptions. He also played part-time running back. Kian had 123 carries for 471 more yards and 3 touchdowns. And just think about Kian's career as a whole. Oh, sorry, my lights went out. Kian gained 4,219 total all-purpose yards. So let's put that in perspective. In Northeast history, that means Kian is the third all-time in yards gained. Kian, as a quarterback, threw for more touchdowns than anybody in Northeast history. Kian, as a quarterback, threw for more passing yards than anybody in Northeast history. So now Kian's name, because of his hard work and dedication, is written throughout the history books of Northeast high school athletics. Kian also excelled on defense. He had 45 tackles this year and 1 tackle for loss. He excelled so much on defense that coaches that we played against recognized him for all-purpose linebacker this year, all-region, all-purpose linebacker. I'm deeply appreciative again, and I thank you for your time. I always appreciate the chance to coach you boys, to coach your boys, and I'm happy to be a part of their lives. Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. As stated in my previous video, I want to take the time in this video to recognize some players for individual accomplishments and special awards as voted on by the coaching staff. I would like to first start out by recognizing some records that were broken this year for the Northeast football program. Since its inception and when record keeping started back in the early 70s, We keep records from a statistical category in every specific category of football. A few of those were broken this year. First of all, Ian Skrekla is now the career, touchdown passing leader for Northeast football. And he set that mark now at 28 touchdown passes. So congratulations, Ian. Great job. Seth Fuller broke 4 records this year. The first record is that of touchdown receptions in a season. And Seth set that mark now at 10 touchdown receptions. Congratulations, Seth. Great job. And he also set 3 special teams records. The first of which is kick return touchdowns in a career, which is now set at 3. Also, kick return touchdowns in a season. He did it all this year, and that's also at 3. Okay, and kick return yardage in a game at 248 yards of kick return yardage in one game is a pretty remarkable feat. So great job, you guys. And you will also find those records posted in the gym lobby in the record board as it has been updated. I'd also like to recognize all region players. The football regions, every coach in the region nominates their own players every year for each specific position. And and this has already been news, but I want to make sure I recognize it in this platform. But we had some players as voted on by the coaches. So once a coach nominates their players, those go out there, and then coaches don't vote for their own players. They can only vote for the other team's players. The only one that they can vote for is region player of the year. They can vote for their own player. So these players were recognized by the other coaches in the region. And the first one is Seth Fuller, was recognized as first team wide receiver. Will Parton was recognized on both sides of the ball, first team offensive line and first team linebacker. And Caleb Rizzo was recognized as first team defensive lineman. Anthony Rizzo, second team offensive lineman. Ian Skrekla, second team linebacker. And Tyler Whitman, second team running back. So congratulations, guys. Great job. And lastly, in this segment, I would like to present our special awards as, again, voted on by the coaching staff. And when someone says award, sometimes I think people think that these things are given. Awards are given out. I like to think that these are earned and not just handed out like candy. I give a list of awards that we typically have each year that we want to recognize. And I ask the coaches individually to submit their nominations. And in most circumstances, in all circumstances of this, majority wins. So our first award is the Mr. Hustle Award. This person, no matter what he was doing on the field, he was hustling, he was in tune, he was always paying attention, but his physical hustle and awareness is what got him this award. And the Mr. Hustle Award this year goes to Nick Mohar. Congratulations, buddy. The next award is the Weight Room Award. The thing that we look for in this award is someone who, number one, it's attendance. And number two, what are they doing when they're down there? You know, it's easy to attend something, but what are you doing while you're there? And this person, again, never misses and does everything that they are expected to do to make themselves better and make the team better. And this award came down to a couple different players, but the one that ultimately won out was John Pikevich. Congratulations, John. Our most improved player this year is one that, someone that we look for from previous year to this year, what they did in the off season to improve themselves. And again, just play on the field is what it really comes down to. And as voted by the coaches this year, and absolutely well deserved, our most improved player this year was Tyler Whitman. Congratulations, Tyler. Our Coaches Award. The Coaches Award is one in which I I asked the coaches, who would you vote for as someone that you would love to have 20 of on the team? You know, someone who's not necessarily the best football player, but someone you know you can rely on, someone who makes us better, and just, you know, someone that you would want to have in many regards as the face of the football program and doing what they need to do. And that person this year, um, unanimously was voted as our coaches award, was Caleb Rizzo. Congratulations, Caleb. Great job this year. The next award is our Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year award goes to a first-year player in the program. And basically someone who, with their dedication and their performance on the field, receives this award. And this was a unanimous award this year. Every coach voted on this, and the Rookie of the Year this year is one that I'm very proud to say my son, Jackson Humes. Congratulations, Jackson. A new award this year is what we're calling the Man of the Year Citizenship Award. One that Coach Galloway and I consulted on. He actually recommended this. I have to give him credit in large part. This is one that, you know, someone who is a very good member of our community, our school, just does things right. Just a good person, community service, so many things involved. And throughout his 4 years, he has served this community. He has served this program in so many different capacities. And I'm very proud to present the Man of the Year award this year to Kian Skrekla. Thank you, Kian, for everything that you do. Next is our Lineman of the Year. I rate the linemen, as I'm the head offensive line coach and defensive line, on some different capacities, you know, and basically their play says it all. Assignment football, do they miss assignments? Do they step with the proper foot? Do they get the job done? And as voted by the coaches this year, our Lineman of the Year this year is Anthony Rizzo. Congratulations, Anthony. Okay. Our Special Teams Player of the Year this year, voted on by the coaches. I think this one was unanimous, pretty easy on our capacity. It takes a team, but this individual player had a great year on the special teams. And our Special Teams Player of the Year this year was Seth Fuller. Congratulations, Seth. Our Offensive Player of the Year this year, someone who had a very dynamic year on the offensive side of the ball. I mentioned him earlier, his touchdown receptions, his receptions in general, his playmaking ability. And our Offensive Player this year was Seth Fuller. Congratulations again, Seth. Our Defensive Player of the Year this year, it was pretty easy. If you look at this from a statistical category, he led the team in defensive plays, tackles, and et cetera, and became a very good linebacker this year. And congratulations on Defensive Player of the Year this year to Will Parton. Way to go, bud. You had a great year. And lastly, the last award that I want to present is one, normally this is labeled as the most outstanding player, but this year I am, and in consultation with the coaches, we're naming this the most valuable player of the year award. This person's name will be forever displayed in the gym lobby on that board, but one in which we felt at all aspects of the game was the most valuable person that we needed to have on the field to be successful. His offense, his defense, his special teams play certainly awarded him this. And our most valuable player of the year this year, as voted by the coaches, is Kian Skrekla. Congratulations, Kian. You've had a great career. You are going to be a very successful person, and thank you for everything that you've done. So those are the special awards this year. And again, thank you to everyone for everything you've done. Thank you, parents. Thank you, players. And we look forward to next year, and the future is bright. Let's go work and go Pickers.